Hello everyone, it's me, Santon. Today I played in my first Master Duel tournament. So turns out, I thought this was gonna be a haha funny tournament. You know, a Vtuber tournament, that sounds so exciting. We actually played in the official Master Duel Anniversary tournament, which was crazy. So, you know, I had one goal going into this tournament. I said, you know what? We're gonna make Top Cut. We're gonna make Top Cut, and then we're gonna switch to Tendango. That didn't happen. But, you know, the deck list, this is the deck list for our top 64, I believe 50th place run. So I've seen people play Tenpai, kinda, you know, like, they combo, they do the thing in the battle phase. I never really paid attention to like that. So that's actually what led me to my first loss in round 2. We'll talk about that later. You know, if you know, you know, Tenpai. If y'all don't know me, I'm actually more of a rogue player. I play a lot of rogue decks. You'll see me on anything from like Tendango, Vendred, Maya Korshi, Ghostwick. Meta's not really my thing. So we actually had to spend the previous night crafting the Chormies. I think I only owned like one copy of like FuwaMoco or something. But, you know, we had to bring our A game. It was a big tournament. We gotta bring our A game to the tournament. So we built that. You know what? It kind of worked out. It paid itself back. You know, not too shabby overall. So when it came to like the actual list, so the Tenpai cards, you'll know exactly how many you gotta run in the deck, right? I mean, there's a limited amount. You got your classic, you know, green Chandra, yellow Chandra, white Chandra, or Chandra. The only thing I was really concerned about what I wanted to run is I was flipping between Phantasme and Vela. Phantasme was really great for the ladder because of all the, you know, the Fiend Smash going on and all that kind of stuff with you, Vel, but when it came down to it, I felt like without much information going into the tournament, like, you know, as to what my opponent could be playing in between rounds and the best of one format, true and true through, I felt like, you know what, Effect Vela was kind of gonna be where we were at on it, you know? Classic, you have to be on Max C. We're running several copies of Max C. Most people these days are on essentially 8 copies of Max C. We are actually on 11, but we'll get to that later. You have Ash Blossom, the entire Tenpai engine. You put in a Dora, because, you know, sometimes you just need another Fire Dragon. The, like, source in this list is Shadow Situation. I mean, everyone's been seeing this on the ladder. You Gold Sock and you send Blaster. You know, Blaster when banished, you had a Fire Dragon monster to your hand, so that's another extra way to get onto, you know, your additional Tenpai cards if you start with a Tenpai. Now where the list gets a little cute is we run 2 Gold Sock, because why not? And so when you have Blaster in your hand, you can't really use Gold Sock, it's kind of offline. So what we do is we take in Kaleido Chick. What some people might not know is if you banish Lunalite Kaleido Chick, your opponent can't activate cards and effects during the battle phase. So, similar to how Tenpai already has Sengen Summon to keep you protected in the main phase, your backup is if you got, you know, if you can banish Kaleido Chick, whether it's off, you know, your Bestials here or if it's off Gold Sword, that kind of gets you a clear line in the battle phase to play through and do whatever you'd like. That was pretty big in some of our games, and that was kind of like the whole idea. This deck is all gas, no breaks. It's, hopefully I have enough hand traps to stop my opponent from playing, or at least put up enough of a board that we can either get the battle phase or set up enough in the main phase and, you know, do our regular Tenpai stuff. We get really cute with the list is we got Retaliating Sea. So everyone's heard of Max C. Retaliating Sea, you summon whenever there's a spell card. It activates an effect that will special summon a monster. So you have plenty of lists that are on that these days. You got Voiceless Voice, you know, going around all the place. Any kind of fusion deck, you know, Brand and Fusion, very popular, you know. Retaliating Sea summons itself, and so what it does, it basically becomes Macrocosmos one leg. Now, in the past, Tenpai was really popularly played with Shifter. Essentially functions like Macrocosmos from the hand. You should get enough damage to, even if you lose your, you know, dragons in grave, you should be able to power through and do enough damage for lethal. Now, the other fun thing about Retaliating Sea, though, is if this card is sent from field to grave, so whether they destroy it, or, you know, you link it off yourself, you tribute summon it, however which way, you can add one Earth Insect monster with 1500 or less attack from your deck to your hand. Except for Retaliating Sea. So if you have Retaliating Sea, and your opponent pops it, you now have Max Sea in your hand. Unless, of course, they hand trap or something. So that's like a little fun way that fundamentally you could be on 11 copies of Maxi. Also has a cute little fun effect of making it a little bit more difficult for your opponent to play the game. That's kind of the idea. We got a little bit of a, you know, bestial package. Magnemot's been very classic in Tenpai. We won Dual Storm and we won Baldrake. There's just a lot of decks that it could apply to. Baldrake in particular, I wish came up a little bit more. It was more just like a card I would have to try to cut off like any additional Fiendsmith combos. They're all very good package. The list is very tight. We won 40 cards because, you know, you just want to see all the cards that you can. When it comes to back row hate, Feather Duster and Heavy Storm were just enough. I was a little bit worried about running into Stun or like more Labyrinth on the ladder. And we only kind of ran into one deck that like seemed kind of on a Stun format. Everything else was pretty varied. It was anything from pet decks to... I think we have 1 or 2 mirror matches on Tenpai, of course. Snake Eye, Asmina, Fiendsmith, real popular right now. The extra deck is pretty self-explanatory too. You have all your, you know, classic Tenpai favorites. So when it came to the extra deck on Twish's list, we almost would have been off by 1 card. I was really considering playing Samurai Destroyer to deal with Yubel. But when I sat down and thought about it a little bit more, if we were on Samurai Destroyer, that means we kind of already let Yubel play the game. And if Yubel has a board up into Tenpai, well, that's just kind of a losing matchup for us. I think I do stand that, like, going completely blind into, like, Swiss rounds like that, I think Typhon had a lot more mileage for us than Samurai Destroyer would have. I was really surprised we didn't run into more mirror matches, but like, considering the state of the tournament, there was a lot of, like, pet decks, but there was also just a lot of, like, Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes real popular right now. There's a little bit of Fiendsmith, but the ones we did run into... Luckily, we were able to just stop sequence whenever it showed up before it kind of got out of hand. And that was kind of the whole goal. Is that if we ran into any deck that Tenpai might have an issue with, such as Fiendsmith or Yubel, is that hopefully we can just hand trap them to the ends of the earth before they can play the game. Because our game plan is, as long as our opponent can't play the game, we just have to be able to get to 8,000. In some ways, playing Tenpai kind of felt like playing Plunder Patrol. I play a lot of pure Plunder Patrol, and I didn't take it into the tournament because pure Plunder Patrol kind of just dies to Ash Blossom. And sometimes Impum. But playing Tenpai felt very similar because I know Plunder Patrol really well. I can see lethal through some pretty complicated game states, and so kind of learning how to play Tenpai mid-tournament and figuring out, like, the lines for, you know, how to get to lethal when they actually had a board was pretty fun. As weird as that sounds, it felt like a little puzzle game. I wish I had gotten a little bit more practice. If we talk about the overall tournament run, round 1 was pretty straightforward. There wasn't very much of a board to break with that one. Round 2 was my first loss. My first losses came very early into the tournament run. It was versus Sprite's live twin, and I honestly just lost this match myself. I should have practiced a little bit more. Like, I know, you're gonna laugh at me and say, like, why would you practice Tenpai? I had all my targets in hand, so when I went battle phase and I came in and I decided to summon Chandra instead of like something like Vajra, I went to use Chandra to summon from deck and I realized I didn't have anything else to synchro summon with. And so that's what lost us the game, actually. I should have won this game. I think by round 4, I realized what I'd messed up in this game. And that would have been like a little bit better for us overall. So I lost this one, and then immediately after in round 3, we lost versus the branded player. And after that, we started 1-2. I proceeded to not drop a single game for the rest of the tournament because I really wanted to try to make off putt. So they're doing the whole Live Twins combo. We hit them with the Charmies because why not? So I think our first mistake in the game is right here. When I was practicing on the ladder, I had activated basically all 3 Maxis, Charmy, Fuolos, and Maxi, and we had almost got decked out. So I was actually afraid of activating Maxi there because I was afraid of getting decked out by sprites. Now, in reality, the only deck in the format that should be able to deck you out if you're chucking all 3 would be Tier. So I think in reality, we were fine activating Maxi here, and I think if we activated Maxi, this game would have played out a lot different. It was good to see the Heavy Storm. It was good to see the Gold Sword, and so this is where we mess up. Because we have Blaster in hand, we have Gold Sword. Like, we have the combo. The combo is you Gold Sword, Kaleido Chick, and you just go Battle Phase after you get Kaimin. And so we draw Kaimin, and we have the combo. So, you know, just to be safe, I Heavy Storm. I go Blaster here because I want them to use IP first. I don't want something to get banished before we can get to, like, Field Spell or something. They Maxi after we Gold Sword. And I use Pydra to get Sengen Summoning. Now, this is where we mess up. All we had to do from this point, once Sengen Summoning is on the field, is go Battle Phase. But again, I have not played a lot of Tenpai. I spent the better part of the prior evening building this deck list, came into the tournament. I had half a mind what the deck does, but I activate Sengen Summoning, and I add Fodra. And so the problem here is we only run 1 Fodra in the list. But we also have Genroku, Fodra, and Pydra in hand. We go Battle Phase. I Kaimin for Chandra. And something Chandra here just kind of wasn't the play at all. We could have come back from this with all things considered. But I summoned back Chandra instead of Pydra. Because then we could have just, you know, we could have done the classic pop, declare attack, etc, etc, etc. The real Tenpai combo. But I was afraid of the sprites player, and I was really nervous at the start of the tournament. So we get ourselves into a terrible game state. I go Seals Pass because I realize I've messed up terribly, and this is perhaps our only answer. So one could make the argument that if I was afraid of, like, potentially getting decked out, I could have been on Draw, Lock, and Blood. We could have just gone SP. So that was round 2. Again, round 3 was versus Branded. We pretty much bricked into Branded. Not much you can do. Round 4, we were versus Toons. And, well, they sent us first. So we normal summoned Pydra versus Toons. We did the classic, alright, I'll get Pydra, I'll set Kaimin. They had Toon bookmark, so they stole Pydra. They summoned a Toon monster. And after they didn't actually, like, you know, OTK us on their turn 2, we just proceeded to do Tenpai things. Round 5, we played against something really weird. I believe the rest of the deck bricked. Whether they were intending to play stun or something else, I'm not sure. Some kind of control deck. They were running God Dragon Cataclysm. So we led Blast of Effect to pop their Druid Swarm, because, you know, I don't want them sending my monster to grave. So that turned their trap offline. We popped it, because, like, I was a little bit afraid it would be, like, something like Mirror Force or something similar. I saw that it was just this trap, and I'm like, I feel like they probably bricked, but, you know, we take those. Round 6, I assume it was a mirror. The reason why I think it's a mirror is because we ended up top decking Heavy Storm, which was really convenient. So we Heavy Stormed the field, and the two set cards were Droplet and Corpy. So, because they had nothing else, obviously, we were able to get through that. That was really lucky, all things considered. Round 7, we kind of just passed back and forth until someone drew playable. Well, him, it was me. Round 8 was versus Beansmith, and you know, for the plan, we just were able to hit sequence whenever they brought it out. Going into round 9, we won the coin toss, so you know, pretty straightforward. I was a little concerned when they added the Div Incarnate, what the Snake Eye Ash. Feels for Wallows, you know, just maybe trying to stop them from comboing, something like that. So they make a 4 Mat Apple, and at this point it kind of sealed the deal once they brought out Apple. We Heavy Storm, you know, we Gold Sword, we try to send Kaleido Chicken. It was about partway through this after I summoned Brewer Swarm that I realized, wait a second, we have Santon Summoning in hand, so, you know. We Santon Summoning, we grab Chandra, we normal summon Pydron. That's where they school. Round 9, not too shabby. We went 7-2. We're in the earlier rounds, so because we lost round 2 and round 3, I think we had the lowest opponent percentage of anybody that was 7-2. I think it was slated to bubble in every universe. If we had gone a little bit more practice, like in on just knowing which cards to activate in the battle phase, the one could have been a little bit different. We definitely could have won the Live Twin Sprites game, but it is what it is. It's our first Master Duel tournament. I think we did pretty good, all things considered. I like Chandra as a concept, you know. I was really hoping to make top cut, and then in this tournament you could switch out decks between round. I primarily played Tendangle. I was really hoping to get one Tendangle. So thank y'all for checking out the, you know, deck profile / tournament run through. Thanks again to Konami for hosting the tournament. And it's really cool to see other VTubers, like bigger VTubers, getting into Master Duel. I really like Master Duel, so that was super fun. I now know what a FuwaMoco is. So, you know what, chat? We are now officially Ruffians, chat. Representing Team FuwaMoco in today's tournament. That's what we did. BAU BAU.